Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. It is a cool, crisp, wonderful day in the suburbs of Chicago. Man, I love the weather here. It's absolutely majestic. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's the Daily Woo.
Hello, penguins. You got your little scarf on? That's good. Oh, yes.
It's a perfect start to a perfect day.
Gotta love the ambiance of the leaves flying through the air. Still a few on the trees. They haven't all blown off yet. Right next to this shopping center just so happens to be a recreation of half-size proportion of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Look at this freaking thing.
This is pretty cool, right? It's just like the real thing, only a little bit smaller.
It stands 94 feet tall. That's 19 feet taller than Sleeping Beauty Castle at Disneyland.
But the real version stands 177 feet tall, so take this one and double it.
Either way, I must say, it is pretty awesome standing at the threshold of this thing. It is a beautiful sight.
It would be amazing to be able to go up inside that thing and climb to the top. However, there's a fence here and a no trespassing sign. Whap, 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 whap. You didn't think I was gonna forget you, did you?
Just chilling here on this bench is the one and only Abraham Lincoln. And there's room for one more, so I think I'm gonna sit a spell and just hang out with the former president.
That's what I'm saying. Good talking to you. See you later.
Oh man, when Woobraham finds out I met Abe, he's gonna be so jealous. Here comes the rain again, falling on my head like a new emotion. Look at these hot dogs up here. This guy's flexing. He's kind of wearing like a Fred Flintstone Barney Rubble outfit. This is the Bohemian National Cemetery. And in this property just so happens to be the Cubs Fans Forever Memorial Burial Wall. Home plate is down here, and some recreations of the seats from Wrigley sit right in front of it.
There are names and placards all along this wall of Cubs fans who were always longing, always had that desire to see their team win the World Series.
All displaying their dedication to their favorite team that they supported through their entire lifetime. A lot of them having to always say, wait till next year.
But very recently, after 108 years, they finally got their wish.
And what an emotional experience it must have been for the families. This baseball says, to Daddy, Cubs win 2016 World Series. There's a newspaper magazine placed down there with a bottle of wine.
This is something you don't normally see in a cemetery. At least I've never seen anything like this in person. They may exist, but this is a rarity to see a recreation of the outfield wall from a team from the town in a graveyard. Chicago has had a lot of different mayors. One of them with a very fascinating backstory is also buried here. In 1933, President-elect Franklin Delano Roosevelt was in Miami with the mayor of Chicago.
And a would-be presidential assassin had his bullet deflected and ended up hitting Anton Cermak.
As the story goes, the woman standing next to the killer deflected the gun away from the president-elect and directly towards the mayor. And after a few days of struggling in the hospital, he passed away, but not before telling Roosevelt, "I'm glad it was me, not you."
And those words are forever immortalized at his final resting place. After the news of his death, the city turned out in droves to pay their respects to their civic leader. Pretty crazy story, right? Check that place out. Wolfie's. It's hard not to be tempted by signs like this. It makes me want to go get a hot dog. Look at this guy. That must be Wolfie. And he's about to chow down. Me too. And remember, when in this town, never put ketchup on a hot dog. Look at this thing. I always thought I knew what a hot dog was, and then I visited Chicago, and it all became crystal clear. This is seriously my new favorite thing. It's like a serious smorgasbord of goodness. What's he looking for? The turtles?
The weather out here is amazing. I guess it borderlines on cold, but I'm wearing a hoodie. I don't like sweating, so this is perfection.
Now, if it were 10 or 15 degrees cooler, I might have a different opinion. Or once the sun completely goes down, then it might be a little too chilly.
But as of this exact second, the air does not feel like pea soup, and sweat is not dripping down my back. So, yes.
And look how beautiful that looks. The trees, the leaves, the sun, just starting to protrude downward over the horizon. There seems to be an old relic of a post office mailbox right here. And someone has drawn a sad face on it because it cannot accept mail anymore. Look, there are no openings on any of the four sides. It just sits here as a reminder of the past. This building kind of reminds me of something you would see in Los Angeles. Just a little bit. And check it out. There's a Radio Shack here. I thought those went bankrupt. This brewery has an incredible display of old beer taps. Is that what they're called? Beer taps? There's hundreds of them in this window.
The sun is now starting to set. It is getting a little bit cooler, and it's interesting because now that the sun is setting and that moon is starting to rear its head, and the werewolves are going to be coming out very soon in the suburbs of Chicago, the wind is kicking up very quickly, which is bizarre. The sun goes down, the wind picks up. Is that how it works? I'm not a meteorologist, but it's very bizarre.
Tomorrow, I leave Chicago and on to the next destination. Vlog over.